Hello, I'm the CommanderZander. I remember it so that a standards critic doesn't have to, and neither should you. As we zoom on to the next show in the PBS Kids review series. So let's zoom to zooming of zoomifying Zoom in the zooming of Zoom. If you didn't get that fucking reference, you're a fucking idiot. This is Zoom!
Today on Zoom,
This is how they start each episode. They talk about what they're gonna do today.
hold two balls in your right hand.
And they show what they're gonna be doing on this show.
Hold the balls with your right.
In other words, spoiler alerts! I don't even have to explain that.
Mark B.
Now, with this particular video that I'm showing
Basketball.
for this episode, it's delved into two parts. I'm only going to show you part one, because this should pretty much give you an idea of what the show is about. So they start and end each show with the funding as well. Now, at the end of the show, when they finish with the funding, you hear the WGBH logo that goes, hey! Oh yeah, and there's the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Because you can't have a PBS show funded without the CPB, man. But yeah, like I said, they end it with the WGBH logo, the one that goes, and it lights up and it shows the WGBH logo. Unfortunately, you won't see it on this part because ZOOMerTube, whom is responsible for this video, credit goes to him, by the way, divided this episode into two parts. So, like I said, I'll show you part one. This should give you a gesture of what the show is as we are listening to the theme song. This song's gonna get stuck in your head, believe me. Then they introduce themselves. So in season 2, we've got Ray, Caroline, Claudio, Elisa, I like her, Jesse, Kitty, funny, and Zoe. The purpose of this show is to get you involved. So, in other words, go on the internet and talk about stuff with them. And they do fun, creative things. Whether it be cooking stuff, whether it be doing scientific experiments, you name it, you're going to learn something from Zoom, which I thought was a very good show. It's very entertaining and educational. Unlike the fucking Teletubbies. I hate bringing this up now every fucking time, but thanks to the Teletubbies, I have to make this comparison now. So there. So in this episode, they start by seeing how many times they can bounce the soccer ball. You don't really play soccer? You kicked the ball in his ass! That was horrible! Come on, I can do better than that. Now I'll give this kid credit. At least he got 2 bounces on the head. That's tough to do. Now watch Elisa.
Okay, this is my lucky thing, I think.
Lucky thing. You think. Watch it. Look at her go! She's a natural! Can she join my soccer team? Oh yeah, and yeah, they're gonna promote the PBS website because, again, like I said, they want your opinions. This is a transition. That's also pretty normal.
Dear Zoom, one of my favorite
Zoom do. In other words, do it.
I lost my favorite one, so I made my own. It works great, and I hope that you can share my idea with everyone, and so they can make their own too. Mandy G of Lorain, Ohio.
This is also another thing that's pretty normal. They show up the name and the city in that type of motion. Whee!
You can pick any color.
So, he's going to show you how to make your own hacky sack.
These are split peas.
Using balloons and dried beans and a bottle.
Okay, the first thing you need to do is take a balloon and blow it up and then let all the air out. Okay. Then you take your plastic bottle and a piece of paper and your dried beans. You take some of the beans and just...
So essentially what you do is you put the dry beans on the paper and then you use the paper to put the dry beans into the bottle because then it's easier to transfer the seeds into the balloon via the bottle. Very crafty. I like this.
Plastic bottle. sounds kind of like rain when it's hitting the bottom. Oh, okay. Then you take the balloon you just blew up and stretch it over the top of the bottle. You might want to make sure that the balloon is kind of centered, so the beans will go straight in. Then you just tip the bottle over and let all the beans fall in.
If necessary, you have to squeeze the bottle.
Almost got them all in. It's easier to squeeze the bottle. Okay. Just pull this off. Just pull, there you go. Pull the balloon right off the top. Okay. Then, after that, take another balloon, blow that one up, and let all the air out of that one too.
I wonder what he's going to do with that other balloon. Ha 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 ha! Fart joke! I like this kid's humor.
Cut the top off of the balloon, like that.
Oh, now I see. He's going to cover that opening of the balloon covered with the hacky sack with that cut up balloon they just did.
Dried beans will fall out. That. Then you take your third balloon.
Third balloon?
None of the beans will fall out. Blow that one up and let all the air out of that one too.
I hope that's all you need. How many balloons do you need to freaking make sure the beans stay put?
Then cut off
I like this kid's humor. He cracks a smile when he deflates the balloon.
the other side of the balloon.
So he covers
Just like
those two balloons with the new cut up balloon, and there's a hacky sack.
kind of have like a multicolored hacky sack. And there. That's my hacky sack.
That's very creative. I like this
And if you
kid.
want, you can make 3 and try to juggle.
He's also a natural juggler. This kid is awesome. I like him.
If you want to learn how to juggle, these next Zoom guests will show you how to get started. Whoops.
Again, transition using the Zoom logo. Who's there? Okay, so then they show actual people juggling with, I assume, actual hacky sacks.
And it makes me feel good
So, there you go.
every time.
This segment lasts for about a couple of minutes. And then we proceed.
I don't know. Because all the fans leave.
Oh, I'll go back. Apparently they transitioned to a joke.
Why is it so hot?
There we go.
Hey, Caroline. Yeah? Why is it so hot after a basketball game? I don't know. Because all the fans leave.
Ah, I get it. And then we transition into Zoom Sci, which is the scientific portion of the show.
Challenged us to figure out how many dots there are on a basketball without counting every single dot.
How is that scientific?
Almost 4 hours to count each dot. That number is in this envelope.
With a lot of question marks.
Once we come up with our best guess. We hope that our way of figuring out the number of dots is faster than counting each dot, and it'll still get us close to the right number. Ready?
Sure.
Let's try to
How
count.
many do you think there are without doing anything first?
I would say
Instead of that little,
3,000.
3,000? I think on one there would be like
I know.
about 5,000.
think
So
there's
on
like-
all of them there would be like 40.
I know, it's like 8 to 20,000, something like that.
Something like that.
20,000.
I know.
Well, only one way to find out.
What do you think would be the easiest?
Care to tell us your method to figuring out the number of dots in a basketball?
Well, I thought of counting each one in a section. We could just multiply it by the number of sections there are.
Mhm.
But this and this are different. They're different shapes.
So you could do one of these and one of these and then
So they're trying to figure out how
So do
to
you
figure
have an
out
example
the
of this?
number of dots.
Sort of.
Yeah, it's like when you take a small amount and then you count the number in there and then you multiply it by the bigger amount. So say if we took a quarter and we counted the amount on a quarter, like if we drew a line around it, and then we counted how many quarter-size amounts there are in a segment, and then we multiplied that by the number of segments, and then we multiplied that by the number in the dot.
Okay.
It's a pretty good idea.
And we'll count the ones that the line...
Except there's one problem. If little kids are watching, they're going to be confused as hell. That's my only issue with this suggestion. Otherwise, I like it.
Got that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61.
So there's 61 dots within a quarter.
Then imagine
1 quarter equals 61
I think she's left-handed.
dots.
Wow.
This is going to take
So
a
then
long
wanna see
time.
How many quarters are in a segment?
Yeah.
Wow, I think there's going to be a lot. 61 isn't one of them.
Ah, clever thinking. Number the circle so that way you don't have to count each individual circle.
31, and then we'll count the rest. 31 times 61,
891.
1,891 plus, and then we have to count the other segments on it.
okay. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 117, 118, 119. That's 119. That's 119.
So let's color those in so we know which ones we did. So, okay, so let's review everything that we did.
Okay.
There are 61 dots on a quarter.
Holy crap, that's a lot of math.
31 quarters. Yep. That can fit onto this. 31 equals segment.
Yep.
Okay. Together that equals 1,891. That's how many quarter-sized dots there are. Then the spaces where the quarters didn't fit, there were 479 dots. So if we add those together, 2,370. That's how many are in one segment. If there's 4 segments, if there's 4 segments that look like that, this one, this one, this one, and this one, then we multiply it by 4. So there's 9,400.
Wow. So we're
Half full.
in other, and that's just for those 4 segments. We haven't gotten to the other, I think 4.
Wait a minute. They're the same. Oh my gosh. Yes. They are because look. Oh, because it goes fat to skinny and then skinny to fat. So they're the same thing. So we can multiply that by 4 again or multiply by 2. Oh my. 18.
Wow, that dude who gets 20,000 was pretty damn close. So according to their calculations, there are 18,960 dots on a basketball. Wow, that's amazing. So, that's the first part of that episode, but that's all you need to see. So that's Zoom. It's very intelligent, very educational, very entertaining. I personally like it. This is a nice step up compared to, say, Caillou and Dragon Tales, which were both decent, but still not great. But those were steps up. So I think we're slowly but surely moving away from the legs of Benny the Dinosaur and the fucking Teletubbies. So I hope you get a chance to watch Zoom. I prefer you watch the first 2 seasons. Those were the 2 best ones in my book. But yeah, you'll definitely learn something by watching Zoom. I'm the CommanderZander. I remember it so that it's not a great doesn't have to, and neither should you.